welcome back to the channel, and today we are checking out some Illuvium. The IIP20 is up, meaning that it is going to kind of break down Illuvium 0, exactly where the prices are going to be, how it's going to work, and we're going to go ahead and look at what has changed with this. Now, we started this back in probably about October, wondering when the land sale was going to be. Then it moved to November, then December, then January, and now it is going into May, which is absolutely crazy that we're seeing the timeline that it's really following with Illuvium 0, and they have made a considerable amount of changes to everything that they're going with the land sale. They had a couple more months to develop, really build it out, make sure that everything was good. I know we did have a few setbacks when it came to Illuvium, when it came to the token and the compromise with the SIOV, things of that nature. So let's go ahead, guys, and we're going to look at the IIP20, and we are going to break this one down. So here it is, guys, the simple summary. It will be ready soon. Again, they're not giving us a date here. Now, this still has to be approved, which you can see everyone approved it. So we are good in that nature. So overview, so land sale timing. This is really something big, guys. Now, there is 100,000 plots available. They're doing 20,000 plots. It is going to be over 3 days. Now, this is going to be a Dutch auction. I'll explain a little bit of what it is going to be. So a Dutch auction, it starts at a very high price and then it drops down. And I believe it is every minute that the price is going to be reduced. So we're going to have 278 plots every single hour. That is right, guys. At midnight, 278 plots will come up. The next 1 a.m., 278 plots are going to go up. So on and so forth for 3 entire days, which is going to be absolutely crazy to see exactly where this comes from. There could be some overlap. So essentially, again, if one batch comes available at midnight, at 1 a.m., if another batch comes available and the first one is not completely sold out, it is still going to be there. And there is going to be kind of a place where it's going to stop depreciating in value. I'm not sure at that point exactly where it's going to go, but you can see 1 hour old, approximately 30% of the starting price. So if you have a starting price of $10,000, 1 hour later, it's going to be down to $3,000, which is the Dutch auction. So you really have a couple benefits from this. And a lot of players I know do not like how the Dutch auction system works, but it makes sense, especially when it comes to 20,000 plots, because one, with the sale being over 3 days, you're going to have less of an effect on the gas fees for Ethereum. Ethereum is super expensive when you're doing transactions. If they drop 20,000 plots at once, you would see the gas literally go through the roof in a matter of seconds for people buying up plots. Dutch auction is going to keep that from happening. In addition, you're really going to pay for what you feel the land is worth. Of course, there are going to be a lot of players that kind of FOMO right into it. And there are going to be some players that wait, an hour in if they want to get it at a certain price. And there's also a set of players that only have a set amount of SIOV, hoping that the land drops within there so they can pick it up. So again, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, right here, guys, that's our 100,000 plots. We know there are going to be 2 tier 5 land, and the first sale is going to be 2, guys. That is it. There's going to be 2. They are private bid. They are continuing to be private bid. 869 are going to be tier 4s, 2,088 tier 3s, 5,000 tier 2s, and 12,000 tier 1s. Now, again, the 20,000 bid or the 20,000 pieces of land that are going to be available is going to be broken into a bunch of different regions. And this is where it kind of gets interesting because, again, from my understanding, is depending on the land that you buy. So if you buy the region and buy the land within the region, you're going to have the effect, the probability of the Alluvial Affinity scan. So again, if you're buying it in a specific region, you're going to have a higher chance or a higher affinity of getting the alluvials that exist within that region. There are 5 tiers in total, which we know, and they're going to be on different places. We know there are elemental fuel sites and then landmarks. The tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5 do have landmarks on there. So number of sites and landmarks per tier, this has remained consistent. So this has really remained consistent. One thing they did add in here that I do want to point out is this production boost over here. Now, originally when this was proposed months ago, we did not have the production boost in here, but you can see, guys, that the significantly higher tiers are going to get not only a production boost right here with the fuel landmark, but there is going to be a production boost, again, from my understanding, on the land itself, which is going to ultimately give you more fuel over time and more resources over time because you have more sites within the land with a production boost in there. So of course it is going to vary. Now this is going to play a interesting aspect into the variety of these sites, the locations, and the fuel that you get. It is going to be interesting. And again, once you purchase a piece of land, it is an NFT. Once you have the NFT, you know what elements, what fuel you have within that NFT, which could ultimately increase or decrease the value if you're selling it on the secondary market. Now, an example of this, guys, is if you have a tier 1 land, you have 3 elemental sites. There are 3 elements within Illuvium that are available. If you get one of each site, it is going to be, and this could be just completely my opinion, it is going to be my thoughts that having all 3 elements are going to be, it's going to be more sought after versus having a tier 1 land that has 3 of the exact same elements. This could make a really big difference when it comes to, again, the secondary market and the price of the land. Now, looking at here, guys, this is the prices. This is what a lot of people wanted to go. Land sale uses a declining price model, which again is the Dutch auction, configured with the starting value declining 2.5% per minute for 2 hours. That is right, guys. It is going to decline 2.5% per minute for 2 hours. But the big thing right here, guys, tier 4 is starting at 80 Ethereum. Yes, 80 Ethereum, guys. That is right. Tier 4 is starting about $250,000, which is absolutely crazy for a price. Some people say it was much needed. It's going to be interesting to see exactly where these sell at. Again, there are going to be a lot of players that pick these up a little bit earlier, but there is also going to be some players that are just going to wait. Even looking here, guys, tier 1 originally was a 0.5 ETH, so it ran around $2,000 at the time, probably about $1,500 now. Tier 1 now is at 2 ETH, so starting price, instead of being around that 1,500, 2,000 mark, now it's starting at a 6,000 mark. But again, with the amount of tiers of land that are coming out, we could see this price, be significantly lower than the starting point, which again is going to be interesting to see exactly how the Dutch auction plays out and what these lands actually go for. Because essentially tier 4 could be, started at the 80 Ethereum. You could see it go down to 10 Ethereum. You could see it go down to 20 Ethereum. But you have to see at what point that players are actually picking up the land. Now, tier 5, of course, is going to be auctions. You can only use one of 2 payment methods, guys. You have Ethereum or SILV2. That is it. You cannot split between them. I can't do 1 ETH and 5 SILV2. It has to be in the same payment method for both of them. Revenue distribution. Now, this is going to be the interesting part. The revenue distribution is going to come from the land sale. So again, this is going to be interesting to see exactly what this is going to look like and exactly where the fuel prices are going to come out. Because remember, once you buy a piece of land and you start accumulating fuel, only when the main game is out, and I really have to stress that, only when the main game goes out are you going to be able to sell fuel for Ethereum. Meaning that if you're going into this first land sale, you're picking up land, you are not going to be able to actually swap any of this fuel out. Again, from my understanding, you're not going to be able to sell any of this fuel until the main game is out. So the only thing that you can get at this point is going to be blueprints that you could buy or sell within the land itself. The goal for Illuvium 0 is to make exciting for landowners to have some agency, which include influencing the price of fuel, which again, we're going to have to see exactly what this looks like in practicality. You can kind of run through 1,000 scenarios, and so many content creators kind of run through a lot of different scenarios. What if Illuvium does $1 million? What if they do 10 million? What if they do 50? What if they do 1 billion? You can kind of run what if scenarios forever, but we have to see when the main game goes live, what exactly the fuel looks like, what kind of hype is around it, in exactly what it is going to where it's going to land. Now, also the big thing, guys, is Illuvium. Remember, it's been trading from a couple $100 up to $1,900. Right now, I believe it is at about 500 right now. But during this time, so if you look at kind of the 6-month window that we've been accumulating rewards, there is an astronomical amount of SILV2 out there, which wasn't the case if they had the land sale in November. It would have looked very different if we had the land sale quite a bit, 6 months ago. I think it would have looked entirely different when it came to the land sale, which as of right now, guys, this is kind of what it is. Again, we knew this was going to be approved. The price is a little bit higher than I anticipated them to start at, but ultimately, guys, with the reduction, we're going to have to stay tuned and see exactly where these land at. So when the land sale comes up, I'm actually just going to live stream it, guys. We're going to hop on here. We can have a lot of conversations with some players. So we are going to live stream it. That way we can take a look and see exactly what's going on, see where the land is coming back, and kind of track it, because I'm very interested. I have quite a bit of SILV out there. Not enough to buy a tier 4 unless the price really does decrease quite a bit. But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this, what you guys think of the prices, and as always, thank you guys for watching.